was going to say something. What was I going to say? This is happening to me. Why can't I figure out what I was going to say? Why is this happening to me right now? Why am I convulsing? Why am I convulsing? Why? Oh my God! Chips! Pikachu! Ninja Pop. Hey, this is Juan Garcia reporting in for Ninja Pop News. This is only my third time playing the Dead Space demo within under 15 hours, and I gotta say, I still absolutely love playing it. I got the email from EA Games last night at like 1:30 in the morning to the download code to download it. I went on Xbox Live and I immediately downloaded it, and oh my God, it's just absolutely fantastic. I played both single player and both co-op mode, which pretty much was supposed to do it. Man, I gotta say, the single player and the co-op are very different. You actually get more dialogue in the co-op than you do single player. Now, that's not to say that it takes away from the single player adventure. You still get that dialogue, but when you play the single player adventure, you do get that feeling of claustrophobia that you got from the original Dead Space and Dead Space 2, which is something that's very good. They're sticking to that original piece that made Dead Space, that made it such a great survival horror series. Now, with that being said, there are significant changes. You now have a crouch button. You can crouch to hide and cover, and you do have human enemies. You are going to be seeing members of the Church of Unitology, and that is something that is significant. A lot of people are complaining that you have human enemies. Me personally, I don't care. I think that it brings more into that storyline and into that plot, because let's face it, if you've played Dead Space 1 and if you played Dead Space 2, Unitologists are freaking crazy, and that's just something that needs to be said. And I just enjoy the fact that you have these human enemies, and also the way the human enemies, the Unitologists work, the way they work in contrast with the necromorphs is something that's even more interesting. Because you have Unitologists and necromorphs coming at you, sometimes they'll be fighting each other, sometimes all three of you will be fighting at the same time. You can use that fight to your advantage. Something like what you've seen with Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Yes, I'm going to use that game as a basis, because let's face it, the idea for that multiplayer where zombies are all around and it's human versus human, but you have zombies involved, was a very, very good idea for that multiplayer. And I think that that's something that, I don't know if Versicle looked at that and said, hey, this might work for Dead Space 3, let's try that out. I don't know, but that's something I did notice, and it's absolutely fantastic. Now, another thing I want to put out there, there's a movie that came out in the mid-'80s called The Thing, directed by John Carpenter, and it stars Kurt Russell. And it's about an alien life form that can take the form of an alien creature that can shapeshift into anything else. And I was watching it just a few weeks ago, and I was just thinking to myself, wait a minute. They really do look like necromorphs. And it takes place on this planet, this frozen heap of a planet. And the planet that they're on, Voltus, whatever, it's a frozen planet. And you're fighting these necromorphs, and these necromorphs basically shift into whatever they latch onto. And I think that that's something that's amazing. I don't know if Versicle did it to, as a salute to John Carpenter's movie The Thing, but I do feel that that's something that is absolutely awesome, and kudos to EA and kudos to Versicle for doing that. As I've said before, the graphics are absolutely amazing. I had zero glitches while playing this demo, and that's something that needs to be said. God, I just absolutely love this demo, and I just cannot wait for the game to come out. Now, also, I want to bring up something I should have brought up in the first place. Something that's just absolutely amazing would be your weapon customization now. You now have the choice to add specific features onto your gun, which is pretty good because it also adds to Isaac Clarke is a engineer. So in this drastic moment, he's going to figure out how to make this item work. And remember, Dead Space 2, in the beginning of Dead Space 2, if you've played it, if you haven't, it's like $15 at GameStop right now. Go pick it up. In the beginning of Dead Space 2, he creates his own plasma cutter, which is something that's absolutely fantastic. I thought that was awesome. It's straight out of an action horror science fiction novel, whatever the hell you call it. But in Dead Space 3, you find components, you find them both in single player or co-op, and you can create an electrical blast on your pulse rifle. You can create a flamethrower to your plasma cutter. I think that's something that's absolutely fantastic. That's pretty much it for my initial reactions for the Dead Space 3 demo. It looks very good, and it gives me faith for the game. Now, you guys know, hit Twitter, hit Facebook, ninjapopnews, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you guys think of the demo if you played it. Find me on PlayStation, find me on Xbox Live, Ermac77. You already know the deal. This is Juan Garcia signing out for Ninja Pop News. If you do not have a controller, it's more than likely you're not having fun. Thank you, and have a sweet.
What up, Tyler?
Yeah! What up, nigga? Damn!
What you gonna have?
Nigga, shit. Fucking shit.
Nigga, shit.